picture this. She's pulling away. The texts get shorter, the calls less frequent, and your chest feels heavier each day. You try to fix it, you ask what's wrong, you explain yourself, you apologize for things you didn't even do. But the more you talk, the further she drifts. You think communication will save you, but what if I told you the silence does what words never can? Because silence isn't avoidance, it's control. It's the moment a man reclaims his power. Every man is taught that problems are solved through logic, through dialogue, through reason. But relationships don't run on logic. They run on emotion, tension, and energy. When a woman withdraws, a man's instinct is to chase clarity. He wants to understand, but to her, that need to talk feels like weakness. Because emotionally, she already knows what she feels. She's not looking for your explanation. She's testing your reaction. You see, the moment you start defending yourself, you've already lost frame. You've moved from being the mountain to being the storm, chasing her approval. She doesn't hear your words, she feels your energy. And when your energy screams, "Please don't leave," it confirms her subconscious belief that she can. Here's where psychology steps in. The female brain is wired to seek emotional stimulation, dopamine, from unpredictability. When everything is clear, predictable, and explained, her mind loses intrigue. But when you become quiet, detached, unreadable, her brain re-engages the chase. Dopamine spikes when uncertainty enters the picture. Silence triggers that uncertainty. It creates contrast. It makes her wonder what you're thinking, what you're feeling, and why you stopped reacting. She starts to replay your last words, rereads your messages, and questions herself. Did I go too far? Why isn't he fighting for me? That internal dialogue is how silence speaks louder than any argument ever could. In masculine psychology, frame means control over your emotional world. It's the ability to stay grounded when everything around you shakes. When you go silent, you communicate without words. I don't need to prove my value to be understood. That unspoken energy shifts the dynamic completely. Because now, instead of reacting to her emotions, you're leading with your composure. She feels your absence as presence, the paradox of masculine energy. In a world addicted to noise, silence becomes rare, and rarity equals value. You stop being the man trying to convince her, and become the man she can't quite read. And in human psychology, mystery is the ultimate magnet. Let me tell you about a man named Daniel. He loved a woman who was slowly pulling away. Every time she seemed distant, he tried harder. More texts, longer calls, deeper confessions. He poured his heart out, hoping vulnerability would make her stay. But all she felt was pressure, because his words weren't connection, they were convincing. One day, she stopped replying altogether. Daniel spiraled. The silence terrified him, so he sent one last message. "I just want to talk. I deserve closure." And she never answered. Months later, Daniel finally stopped reaching out. He focused on himself, the gym, his purpose, his silence. And that's when she texted again. "Hey, how have you been?" The irony? She only heard his silence, not his words. Because his silence finally spoke the one thing she needed to feel. He doesn't need me anymore. Neuroscience explains this too. When communication stops, the brain's reward system activates the uncertainty, releases dopamine and cortisol simultaneously. It's a chemical conflict, pain mixed with curiosity. That's why silence feels uncomfortable at first. It's why men break it too early. But if you hold it long enough, it becomes your greatest weapon, because the discomfort you can endure determines the power you can command. Silence rewires your brain too. It builds emotional regulation, a reduction in impulsive dopamine seeking. You stop reacting to emotional chaos and start responding with calm authority. That's masculine polarity, control over the self, not over others. And women subconsciously respect it more than any speech or apology. One day, you'll realize something powerful. You never needed to explain yourself to be understood. You just needed to stop over-explaining to be respected. The moment you stop chasing validation, the world starts leaning toward you, because silence creates space. And in that space, others either rise to meet your energy or reveal they were never meant to. It's not punishment, it's peace. You're not ignoring her to manipulate. You are protecting your frame, your time, your dignity, your inner stillness. Remember, silence is not empty. It's full of the answers you no longer need. Most men talk themselves out of attraction. They over-explain, over-promise, over-invest. They forget that true power is not in being understood, but in being unshaken. Detachment isn't indifference. It's emotional sovereignty, the ability to care without collapsing, to love without losing yourself. You become the observer, not the participant in emotional chaos. You stop arguing for your worth. You stop performing for attention. You become silence itself, still, grounded, immovable. And that's when she feels something deeper than attraction. Respect. My brother, the next time you feel that urge to explain yourself, to chase clarity, to fix what's breaking, stop, breathe. Let the silence do what your words never could. Because silence is not distance. It's direction. It's how a man reminds both himself and the world, my peace is non-negotiable. You don't win by being louder. You win by being still enough that your absence becomes the loudest thing in the room. This is the psychology of silence, the art of saying nothing and letting everything change.